President Drake sits down with the Lantern.
Students host Vigil for Westerville officers.
And the latest updates in Buckeye basketball. That's all right here on Lantern News Now. Thank you for joining us. I'm Elizabeth Suarez.
And I'm Jamela Muhammad. You're watching Lantern News Now.
On Tuesday, the Lantern and Lantern TV sat down with President Michael Drake. President Drake addressed Ohio State's partnership with Apple and the university's stance on DACA, among other topics.
Yeah, we're of course constrained by law. And so my class today, we were talking about law and how you follow laws and when the state and federal laws are different and what's that mean. It was a very interesting discussion with the freshmen who I speak with. But we are a public state entity. We are required to follow the law. Within the law, we are fully supportive of DACA students, of the great progress that these really hardworking individuals have made to be able to, as we call them, dreamers, really take part in the American dream. You know them as classmates and friends, and I see them as students, and they're like any of our other students we want to support in moving forward. So throughout this entire discussion, we've always done whatever we could to urge an effective, supportive policy to help facilitate their success with us. We have local policies that we have on campus that we've changed in the last year, with a special representative to help them and other things that weren't the case a year ago, to make sure they know the services that we do have and that they can seek those services without fear, or with at least a minimum of fear. You know, we want to make it as safe as possible to talk to us. And so we'll continue to support those services as we can. And then we work with our legislative representatives to find a just and appropriate solution. But I see DACA students as I see you, as part of our family, and our job is to do what we can to help them and to help you all be successful. DACA students have special challenges, and the reason we put together, we have a person on campus and have these services available is to help them deal with their special challenges, and we will continue to do. What we have is a partnership with Apple that creates an opportunity to use Apple products and to develop things and work with Apple products, but not an exclusive partnership. And you know, as to the extent that this is able to help people learn better and develop things that don't exist, that's great. Apple, we believe, is a country that seems to share our interest in information transfer, and they're really at the cutting edge of the knowledge acquisition and sharing parts of our society, and if we can help them do a better job of that and they can help us do a better job, then that would be great. Yeah, it's a public-private partnership, and the idea there is that we do things and we have partners in the private sector who we work with to help us do a better job. In the partnership, one of the things that we hold is our own values. So we do the partnerships when we believe they help us to do a better job of what we want to do, but we maintain our own values as we go through these, which is very important.
Days after the Westerville community lost two of its police officers, Anthony Morelli and Eric Joring, are responding to a domestic violence call. Vigils are being held throughout Columbus. One of those vigils was held here on Ohio State's campus. Our own Elizabeth Suarez was there and brings us more.
While we slept in comfort behind our locked doors, a cop put his life on the line.
Students gathered Monday evening to honor the lives of Westerville police officers Anthony Morelli and Eric Joring.
I think remembering that the cops are here to protect us, and that's what they do every day. They put their lives on the line for us. I think that's super important.
During the vigil, students showed their support by lighting candles and saying prayers for the officers and their loved ones.
We actually had two students here who have a personal connection to those officers, so that to me was extremely humbling.
Third-year Sarah Avichnikoff is the daughter of a police officer officer and knows the feeling of uncertainty that comes with her father's job.
Law enforcement officers, every single day, they walk out of their house and they do not know whether they're going to come back or not. And the same goes for their families. You never know whether, someone like my dad or these families, their dad or their husband, whoever it is, will come back home.
Some students left with a greater sense of appreciation for the work that police officers do.
There's so many students here that rely on so few people, like people like this, ordinary people doing extraordinary things, and that's something that needs to be commended.
A message of solidarity from the Scarlet and Gray to the men and women in blue. Jeff Walker, the Chief Operating Officer of the James Cancer Hospital, is resigning from his post for a position at a medical center in Los Angeles. Walker is the 10th high-ranking employee to leave Wexner Medical Center in the last 6 weeks. Chris Kipp, the Executive Director of Patient Services, will take over Walker's duties starting in late February.
It's time to suit up. The Center for Career and Professional Success partnered with Penney to provide an exclusive shopping experience for Ohio State students on Sunday. I was able to get an inside look and bring you more.
Well, it was an exclusive markdown just for Ohio State students. It was 40% off all business-related attire, including accessories, but that was in addition to the already sale prices or markdown prices. So, for instance, like the men's dress shirts were being buy one, get one free already, but this was an additional 40% off of that. So there were some really good deals for students. Between the fall and the spring, we've probably seen at least 500 to 600 students take advantage of this, and I think in addition to having apparel that's suitable for career fairs, for interviewing, for starting your career once you graduate in May, it also, I think, just having that professional attire that can make you feel more confident when you go out and do networking and are in professional situations, it's kind of a win all the way around. So.
Clothes weren't the only thing on sale. The salon also offered discounted services.
We had gift bags for the first 300 attendees. And in those gift bags, they had a product sample, a coupon for a hair service, as well as a retail coupon. We also were doing $10 men's cuts, women's cuts. We were doing $10 brows, and we were also doing $10 polishes this evening until 9 p.m. Well, as a professional, when you're going out for that interview or you're going for that first job, first impressions are very lasting. So not only is it a first impression, but it's also how do you feel about yourself. You want to feel good about yourself, and that's what we felt like we were doing for the students tonight, is helping them feel good about themselves to go out in the world and get that job.
The event provided a great opportunity for students like Jaslyn Gowdy to stock up and save.
Well, I came to the one in the fall and I saw it had really good deals, especially in the clearance section. I'm already a Penney fan, so that's why I came out again to get more clothes. This is amazing because from where I'm coming from, we don't have anything like this. So for you to have all these job interviews and job fairs and stuff, it's really helpful to find a place that you can get really cheap professional development clothes, or just professional clothes that you can take from OSU to in the real world when you graduate.
The JCPenney Suit Up event was a great way for students to look good and save money. Jamela Muhammad, Lantern TV.
Pucker up. That's what some students were doing for the 4th annual Smooch-a-Pooch event hosted by Pets for Vets and 4 Paws for Ability. People were able to take photos with the cute pups for a small monetary donation. Lantern TV was there for the fun. Take a look.
Pets for Vets is an organization that supports the national chapter to pair shelter dogs with veterans in the community suffering from PTSD. 4 Paws for Ability is a local nonprofit out of Lima, Ohio, and their goal is to train service dogs in order to give them to kids or any person with disabilities. So today it's all about community awareness, getting Ohio State involved with our mission, and then also fundraising for our organizations.
Those puppies are so cute.
I know, puppy love at its finest right there.
Now let's check in with the sports desk for the latest in Buckeye basketball.
The Ohio State men's basketball team defeated Iowa Saturday night 82-61 to a sold-out crowd of 18,809 fans. This was the first sellout in the shot in 4 years. The Hawkeyes went on a 7-0 run early that put Iowa up 18-15. Senior forward Jayshawn Tate had a fast break dunk after a turnover from Iowa sophomore forward Tyler Cook that put the Buckeyes back in the lead. Ohio State followed up with an 8-0 run and then 4 threes late in the first half from Andre Wesson, Andrew Dakich, and CJ Jackson that put the Buckeyes up 42-32 at the end of the half. Iowa cut the lead by 8 early in the second, but Ohio State went on another big 14-0 run to extend their lead by 18, and the Hawkeyes struggled to gain momentum. The Buckeyes had their largest lead of the game with 29 points following a jumper and layup by sophomore center Musa Jallow and foul shots made by freshman center Caleb Wesson. Wesson led the Buckeyes with 18 points and was 5 for 8 from the field and had 7 rebounds. Redshirt junior Kata Bates-Diop and junior guard CJ Jackson had 14 points each. Ohio State was 9 for 20 from the three-point range and shot 53% from the field.
That Iowa could really score the ball, and they did that in the first half. They have a lot of stuff you have to guard, and I did not think we were as good as we needed to be defensively in the first half, but our guys responded. I thought we were good offensively for the whole game. Moved the ball, shared it, made the right pass at the right time. Had a few too many turnovers, but I thought offensively we were really good. I thought we were much better defensively in the second half.
Ohio State is now 22-5 overall and 13-1 in conference play. The Buckeyes take on Penn State Thursday at 8 p.m.
So we have here now our assistant sports editor, Edward Sutton. He's also our men's basketball beat writer. Ed, this team just is coming off a win, a large win over Iowa. Do you get a sense that now they're taking on Penn State, who beat them in heartbreaking fashion with a three-pointer at the end? Do you get a sense that this Ohio State basketball team is looking for some sort of redemption or revenge against the only team that's beaten them in conference play?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, anytime a team loses, they're going to be looking for redemption. I don't think that that's necessarily the biggest motivator for this team. I don't think that they look at this as a chance that we're going to go out there and get revenge. That's not what they're saying in the locker room. What they're saying is, this is a chance for us to prove that the loss to Penn State earlier in the season, was more of just a fluke, that it was just the product of a bad shot and poor defense at the beginning of the game. Mm-hmm. I think that this is going to be a game for them where, more than anything, it's pretty much just about staying on track for them right now.
Yeah, now, the Buckeyes were ranked number 8 in the latest AP poll. Also, the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee put out their first rankings of the season and listed the Buckeyes as a 4 seed in the tournament, 14th overall. How big is that for this Ohio State team to be considered that high this late in the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's pretty significant that they're considered already a 4 seed. I mean, it essentially does guarantee at this point they will make the NCAA tournament. They could lose the rest of the game and get rest of the games they have this season, get knocked out in the first round of the Big Ten tournament. They're still in, and I think that even at this point, if they were to lose 1 or 2 more games the rest of the season, while they may not necessarily be a 4 seed going into the tournament, maybe they fall as low as 5, maybe 6. Mm-hmm. I think that what it showed is that the committee, while it doesn't necessarily view them as a better team than a Purdue or a Michigan State, even though Ohio State beat both of them, it shows that the committee at least is a believer in what Ohio State has done to this point. They've proven at this point they're a legit contender. Even though the Big Ten has had a weak season, Purdue and Michigan State are both legit teams. And Ohio State beat Purdue on the road, and it handled Michigan State pretty well at home.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned a little bit their closing stretch, including Penn State. There are just 4 games left in this season. Michigan in Ann Arbor, Rutgers at home, but then they travel to Bloomington, Indiana, to play Indiana. Now, what are the chances that this team is able to make it out of those 4 games unscathed?
They definitely have a legit chance to make it out unscathed, I think. It really, for me at least, I think that it's going to come down to the first 2 games in that stretch. If they can beat Penn State on the road, and then they can go into Ann Arbor and beat Michigan as well, I think that they're probably going to win out. They should really handle Rutgers at home. They should beat Indiana on the road, although that could be a closer game than I think a lot of people would expect. Mm-hmm. But if for me, I think the biggest challenge for Ohio State is going to be Michigan on the road. Yeah. Penn State's not going to make 11 out of 14 from beyond the arc again. They're not going to make 4 straight out of the gate. And Tony Carr, I'd be shocked if Tony Carr made another shot like he did in the first game.
Crazier things have happened.
Crazier things have happened. I mean, Andrew Dockich made a half-court shot earlier in the year.
That's true.
But I think that if all goes according to plan, Ohio State's a better team than Penn State, even in State College. Michigan, though, that could be tough. Michigan's a weird team, and they're a team that really could give Ohio State some issues.
Okay. All right, thanks again for joining us, Ed, as you always do. This team does play Penn State on Thursday at 8 p.m. You think they'll get the win, Ed?
I do think they're going to end up pulling this one out. I think they should be able to win.
All right. There are a full slate of Buckeye sports on tap this weekend. Men's volleyball will play host to Lindenwood at 7 p.m. on Thursday, while women's swimming will be in the middle of Big Ten championships all day at the McCorkle Aquatic Center. As we said, the men's basketball team will be looking for redemption against Penn State on Thursday at 8 p.m. Women's lacrosse will be playing their first home game after losing their season opener to Navy last weekend at 7 p.m. on Friday against Detroit Mercy. The track and field team will be holding their Buckeye tune-up meet all day on Friday, and both men's and women's ice hockey will be taking part in weekend doubleheaders, with the men taking on Minnesota and the women facing off with Bemidji State. Finally, the women's basketball team continues their run through Big Ten play as Purdue comes to Columbus on Sunday at 1 p.m. Now, let's see what the weather will be like for this weekend.
Thank you. Now, I'm meteorologist Grace Devine here on Lantern TV to give you your weather for this weekend. Outside right now, we see a temperature of 58 degrees, so it's quite warm out there, and the humidity's not helping with the mugginess out there since it's all the way at 89%. It's quite cloudy out there, and that's because we're going to see some clouds and rain roll on through for us later today. And that rain will stick around with us for part of tomorrow, though, but luckily on Saturday and Sunday, we'll start to see the rain leave us for the weekend, and we'll see the sun finally out on Sunday with a temperature of 49 degrees. So it's going to be a very nice Sunday for us. So like I said, we're going to see some rain come on through tonight, and this is what we're going to be seeing. The dark green signifies a great chance of rain, so we will be seeing rain. But luckily, though, 24 hours later, Friday evening, we will see the rain leave us, so we'll have a nice weekend after that ahead of us. So looking more into next week, though, we are seeing some great chances of rain as we go on through next week. We'll be raining straight through, but we will be seeing great chance of rain, and the temperatures will be up there as well. So we got a muggy and rainy week ahead of us. So go out and enjoy the weather while it lasts. Back to you.
That's all we have for you this week on Lantern News Now.
Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Also check out the Lantern on Snapchat.
Thanks for watching and be sure to subscribe.